Star Wars Episode 8 is not going to debut in theaters until December 15th, 2017. And until then, we'll all be trying to figure out if Rey is Luke Skywalker's daughter, or is she Obi-Wan Kenobi's daughter? No, wait. She's definitely the daughter of Sheev Palpatine. How about we deal with the question that hasn't been asked? Who is Rey's mother? Hey YouTube, Urban Acolyte TV, and this is Prince. It's been a little over a month since The Force Awakens debuted in theaters, and the question that the internet is buzzing over right now has to do with Rey and her background. Is she a Skywalker? Was she trained as a youngling? Why is the Force so strong with her? Is she a prodigy in the Force? Does Kylo Ren know her? The question that hasn't really been asked is this: who is Rey's mother? Now I've seen a few videos on other channels that insist that Captain Phasma's Rey's mother, and maybe that's a possibility, but Phasma's over 6 feet tall, and Luke Skywalker is a little dude who might carry a big lightsaber, but Phasma doesn't strike me as the type to be into short men, if you catch my drift. So here's something to consider. If Phasma were Rey's mother, why would she not try to look for Rey when the First Order goes to Jakku? When Rey's captured and interrogated, why wouldn't Phasma come to at least see her? I bring this up because there's something important to remember. Rey's waiting on her family to find her on Jakku, but I think that she's specifically waiting for her mother to find her on Jakku. During Rey's Force vision, Rey hears a voice, and the novel says she hears that voice. A woman says, "Stay here, I'll come back for you." And Rey runs toward the voice and she says, "Where are you?" And the voice says, "I'll come back, sweetheart, I promise." Now, of course, we know that no one comes back for her in the time between that event and her fateful meeting with Finn. And it's believed that Rey was brought to Jakku when she was either 4 or 5 years old. And this coincides with the time when Ben would have turned on Luke and destroyed Luke's new group of Jedi. So perhaps Rey was a youngling student of Luke's. And much like Anakin's killing of the younglings in the Jedi Temple while Order 66 was being carried out, someone probably thought to hide all of the younglings to prevent history from repeating itself. So when Kylo Ren first receives word that Finn managed to escape Jakku with BB-8, well, he's already angry. But do you remember how he force pulls Lieutenant Mitako when the lieutenant mentions that Finn was assisted by a local girl? Kylo Ren says, "What girl?" And from that point on, there are hints dropped that Kylo Ren knows something about Rey's identity. When they have their first encounter on Takodana, the first thing Kylo Ren says as he's sensing Rey through the Force is, "Something. There's something. Who are you?" When Kylo Ren begins his mental intrusion, he says, "Is it true then? You're nothing special after all. You're just a Jakku scavenger." Now think about this. If he was seeking out Rey to fulfill his mission, he would have immediately been looking for details about the map or BB-8's location. Instead, Kylo Ren is looking for something else. He's looking for Rey's identity. Perhaps Kylo Ren knows something about a girl who may have been hidden on Jakku 14 years earlier. So when we get to Starkiller Base, Kylo Ren continues probing Rey's mind until he hits a repressed memory. Now we have no idea why this memory is repressed. Perhaps Rey suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder from past trauma. Or maybe she's been mind-wiped. We really don't know at this point. What we do know is there's something of interest to Kylo Ren, and whatever it is, it causes Rey to end up inside Kylo Ren's mind. If you're of the opinion that Rey received previous Jedi training, it's highly likely that this might be the memory that was repressed. If Rey's being hunted by Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren, and she has no memory of Luke or Luke's previous Jedi students, or whatever happened to cause Luke to leave, then she could live safely as a scavenger on Jakku, as long as nothing triggers those repressed memories. Now, if it's not clear already that Kylo Ren knows exactly who Rey is, let's jump ahead to their lightsaber fight. So when Rey pulls the lightsaber from the snow, Kylo Ren says to himself, "It is you." So Kylo Ren has some type of history with Rey. He knows who she is, and it's highly likely that she was hidden on Jakku to keep Kylo and the Knights of Ren from finding her. So this leaves us with the question, who is Rey's mother? And why are we asking specifically about Rey's mother? Because that's who left her on Jakku. That's who she's reaching out for, and that's who she's expecting to return for her. We've seen that Rey is an exceptional mechanic and a talented pilot. And the assumption is that, well, Anakin Skywalker had both these traits and Luke Skywalker was the rebellion's best pilot. But what if Rey actually inherited her traits from her mother's side of the family? What if Rey's mother was also a rebellion pilot? See, Eleanor Tremere has written a pretty convincing article on the moviepilot.com website where she says that it's possible that Rey's mother is Lyra Erso. So Lyra Erso is the alleged name of Felicity Jones' character on Star Wars Rogue One. And Lyra will be leading the team of rebels who steal the plans to the Death Star from the Empire. Now this is all interesting because Lyra is also the daughter of Galen, who is the architect of the Death Star. Now think about the possibilities here. If this information is all true, and Galen Erso is probably an Imperial, then Galen would speak with a Coruscanti accent. And if you didn't know, the Coruscanti accent is what we call the British accent, like Obi-Wan Kenobi has. So if Lyra were raised as an Imperial who later defects to join the rebellion, then it's highly likely that she will also speak with a Coruscanti accent. So Felicity Jones, the actress playing Lyra, is from Birmingham, England, and she speaks naturally with a strong British accent. So it'll be interesting to see if Felicity will use her actual accent or if she'll be speaking with an American English accent spoken mostly by people who are not from the core worlds. Also, I don't think this bit was in Eleanor's article, but I did read elsewhere that Felicity Jones may have been cast in a role because of her physical similarities to Daisy Ridley. If this is all true, we can see where Rey would inherit her skills as a pilot, along with her mechanical skills if it were her grandfather who designed the Death Star. So what do you all think? Are you buying that Lyra Erso could be Rey's mother? And when you think about it, if you really believe that Rey is a Skywalker, assuming that Lyra survives her mission in Rogue One, well, there's this pretty strong chance that the person who's responsible for stealing the plans to the Death Star would also meet the person responsible for destroying the Death Star. Wouldn't you think? Well, I'd like to hear your opinions, so let me know in the comment section below, who do you think Rey's mother is? Will we find out her identity in Rogue One, or will this just be a prequel movie for Episode 4 with absolutely no tie-ins at all to The Force Awakens or Episode 8? So hey guys, I want to mention that my last video about Donnie Yen possibly being a Jedi or having the Force has a mistake in it. As it turns out, I thought that Gareth Edwards, who directed Godzilla, and Gareth Evans were kind of the same person. You guys should still totally check out the Raid 1 and 2 if you'd like to see the guys from Kanji Club do some awesome Indonesian martial arts called Pencak Silat. Also, in my video about the Star Wars Rebels mid-season trailer, I made a mistake there too. It's about Hera's father, Cham Syndulla, being introduced. I forgot that Cham is in episodes from Season 1 and Season 3 of the Clone Wars when there are conflicts going on Ryloth. So shout outs to everyone who caught me on those errors. If you haven't seen either of those videos, they're posted over here to my left. There's some pretty interesting theories coming out regarding the Temple Guardians from that Rebels trailer. So I'm going to do a video about that rumor and how it's like the latest Snoke conspiracy theory. So that's all I've got for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. And I'm here to tell you the latest Star Wars stories because I hope Star Wars can change your life the way it's changed mine. So y'all keep on breathing and may the Force be with you. Bye.